Hello everyone, my name is Mimi79. Today I've got a lap guide for Daily Race C. So we're here at Suzuka in Group 3. And we don't actually see this combo very often. I think the last time we had it in a daily race was over a year ago, which is just crazy to think about. But I'm in the Audi R8 and I did a fairly good lap time, so I'll take you around and show you how you could improve your lap and maybe sneak into the 157s. So in the Audi R8 you've got to absolutely rev the hell out of this thing because of the way the power ratio works, I believe. You've got to do this, otherwise you are going to lose a lot of time. But here, braking just on the tarmac on the left hand side, you've got to really attack this first part of the corner as much as possible, because the first part is very quick, but the second part you've really got to slow down. So if you can really nail the first part of this corner, then you should be able to get the second part pretty decently as well. So you've got to brake while turning in. It's a very silly concept, but if you can absolutely nail it, you will gain a lot of time if you can do it right. So through here, just keeping it nice and steady and just keeping the throttle on. This is very important because it just keeps that extra stability. And through the S's, you're using a lot of the curb, maybe missing the apex very slightly there, but just trying to keep it pinned to the inside as much as possible. And then for Dunlop, you've got to really open up the corner as well. This is very important because if you take a tight line, you will lose a lot of time. But we're going to just pause it here because you want to brake kind of in between the black box and the 50 board. Otherwise, you will end up in the gravel trap and no one wants to be there. It's not a very nice place apparently. I've heard that some strange goings on happens in the gravel traps. You've got to avoid that as much as possible. But you've got to really attack this corner. You've got to keep to the inside as much as possible. So that's why you've got to brake while turning in again. And then through here, just trying to keep the car as straight as possible. Avoid the AstroTurf just to the left of the red and white curb. If you go onto the Astro, you'll just be sucked off into the gravel trap, and that isn't a very pleasant experience whatsoever. So through here, you want to just keep two wheels on the curb because you want to try and make sure that the exit is as straight as possible. If you go four wheels on the curb, you will lose so much because the car will be unsettled, and that's why you want to avoid that as much as possible. Also avoid the Astro on the exit as well. But through here, it's braking just after the end of the curb, and this is a very important brake marker because for this corner you've got to try and open up the exit as much as possible, because if you get a bad exit out of the hairpin, you will lose 2 to 3 tenths on the run to spoon. So if you can nail this corner, it will do you a world of good. So just keeping it pinned to the inside and then keeping it in first gear there. You don't want to stick in second because you will lose a lot, and I mean a lot, on the run to spoon. So just keeping it to the inside, fairly normal stuff, and then braking just on the tarmac on the right hand side. You've got to use this brake mark as much as possible because you've really got to nail spoon curve, because on the exit you're basically flat out, or you're literally flat out until 130R. So if you can nail the exit of spoon, you will gain a lot of time. So through here, using a bit of the inside, and then through here, keeping it in third, and perhaps in hindsight, probably should have shifted down to second. But using a bit of the curb on the exit there, again, pretty normal stuff. You don't want to touch the Astro whatsoever. It's absolutely lethal on this game. And then through here, turning in just on the 50 board roughly, and you've got to use as much of the inside curb as physically possible. Otherwise, you will lose a lot of time because you won't be able to attack the inside as much as you can. So there, just using a tiny bit of curb, probably could use a bit more. But it's the final chicane, braking just at the point where the grass slowly starts to fade into gravel, and this is a very hard brake marker to spot, but if you could, keep an eye on it, you will gain quite a lot, because it is such a good brake map, because it gets you stopped very nicely for the chicane, especially in the Audi R8, which doesn't have amazing brakes, but you've got to use as much of the inside curb as possible. But on the run to the line, it's going to be 157.5. But if this was helpful, leave a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Take care everyone, and goodbye.